Guys, this is S&P 500 weekly technical analysis for the week of December 2nd. Now, as mentioned in the previous S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, that this is not a bearish movement, this is a bullish movement and it is expected to remain like this. And in the last week, we have seen a good bullish movement in the S&P 500, Dow Jones and in the entire US stock market. And the S&P 500 made an all-time high at 6044.17 and closed at 6032.38. Now this closing is very important and very significant because this closing is above the previous high, which was 6017.31. Although the S&P 500 breached or fulfilled the condition on Tuesday on 26th of November. But now that S&P 500 has given the second closing above the previous all-time high and above the recent all highs, this further indicates the continuation of the bullish movement towards 6,100 or even beyond. However, this 6,100, it will remain conditional because now the S&P 500 is reaching to the zone, to a very small zone. And it is going to test and is going to struggle and is going to spend 1 or 2 days at or around the zone. And a successful closing, not one but two successful closings above the zone will help the S&P 500 to hit 6,100 or even beyond. A failure at this particular junction will force the S&P 500 to come down. But now there is a plus point. And this plus point is that there was a small resistance zone which was earlier restricting the bullish movement here and here. Now S&P 500 has breached that zone and has managed to sustain above that zone. So I will discuss the movement, bullish, bearish conditions in detail in this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. Now, before I discuss the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, the weekly chart, the daily chart, the probable movement and each and everything, let me give you a quick idea of what I predicted to happen in the S&P 500 and in the entire US stock market from Monday through Friday and what actually was seen or how the market traded or behaved from Monday through Friday. Now, if you notice on Monday, there was a good gap up open, right? And why there was a gap up open? This was my previous S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And here I mentioned that on Monday, there will be either a gap up open or irrespective of any open, an initial bullish movement will be seen. So as predicted, there was a gap up open on Monday. But the most important part was that it managed to breach the previous all-time high, that was 6017. And another important part was the closing. The closing of this candle was 5987.37. Now, why this closing was significant? Because in the same update, in the second update, I mentioned that in order to become absolute 100% bullish on the daily charts, S&P 500 must trade above and sustain above 5985 today. And if the closing is seen above 5985 at any level, then also this will give bullish boost to the S&P 500 and to the entire market tomorrow and day after. So S&P 500 was supposed to close above 5985 in order to become 100% absolute bullish. It closed at 5987, 2 points, and then next day bullish boost. And S&P 500 made an all-time high on that day at 6025 and also managed to close at 6021. This closing was significant because it closed above the previous all-time high. So on Tuesday, a bullish movement was expected and it was seen, but the closing was at 6021 only. Why the closing was at 6021? This was my second update to my Patreon community members on Tuesday. And here I mentioned that it's been 3 hours, S&P 500 reached only to 6010 and now there is a strong resistance level. It will have to struggle at the resistance level. This means that a movement Beyond this resistance level to this very strong resistance zone is not expected. Whereas yes, there may come a little breach of the this resistance level and 602x. So this 602x was very special. This means that even in the best case scenario, S&P 500 will not be able to breach or move above 602x. And if you notice, on Tuesday the closing was at 6021, 602x. So as expected, the movement was seen on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday. So yesterday it was heavily bullish, and it was clear that it will remain bullish. Why it was clear that it will remain bullish and it will close at bullish? Because S&P 500 was expected to come into the open equal to low condition. This was my pre-market analysis to my Patreon community members, which was posted 1 or 2 hours before the open of the stock market. So it was expected that immediately upon open, S&P 500 will shoot up, it will move up, and also the Dow Jones. When this happens, and if within the first hour S&P 500 clears this heavy resistance, okay, which earlier it managed to clear on Tuesday also, if it clears this the resistance in the first hour, then by the end of the session S&P 500 will be in a position to try for 604x. So this was supposed to be the maximum on Friday, even in the best case scenario. So the movement of the S&P 500 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday for the entire week was as expected and as predicted. Through these daily precise updates of the S&P 500, which I give to my Patreon community members every day from Monday through Friday. And also I gave this the midweek update video technical analysis every Wednesday, and I clear what is expected to happen the rest of the week. So guys, if you are also looking for these daily precise updates of the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and in a manner to the entire market every day from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. So guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not yet subscribed. Now guys, I am going to discuss the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And the first point of the agenda is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, S&P 500, Dow Jones, entire market is absolute bullish, and there is a point of relief in a manner that by the next week it is not expected to hit the saturation and the overbought, although it will be at the junction to wherein it is expected to hit the saturation and the overbought, but still it will be considered safe. Means if it want to move up, then it can move up without any problem. So on the weekly chart, it is absolute bullish, 100% bullish, and the trend is bullish. Weekly chart determines the trend. Okay, so remember, weekly chart means the big picture, the long term picture for a month, for a quarter or so. Second point of the agenda is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the daily chart. Now on the daily chart, it has regained its bullish movement and is going to move up further, and there is this zone. Okay, it just need to clear the zone so that 6100 or even beyond can come into the picture. Okay, so I will show you through the technicals, the daily chart, okay, and everything. Daily chart means a short term picture for a week, for 2 weeks or so. Third and the last point of the agenda is the probable movement of the SP 500 from December 2nd, which is Monday, through December 6th, that will be Friday. So whatever is going to happen in the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and in a manner the entire market from Monday through Friday, I will discuss in the last point of the agenda. Now guys, let me clear one more thing, that all of these sections are interconnected, are interrelated. So when I say the probable movement, then I discuss 30 to 40% of the probable movement in the first and the second point of the agenda. Okay, because I discuss the candles and the patterns, patterns and other very important things. So which is not possible to discuss again in the last point of the agenda. So it is highly recommended that you should watch all of these, the 3 sections, in order to understand what is going to happen in the S&P 500 and in a manner in the entire US stock market in the coming week. Now guys, I am going to discuss the first point of the agenda here, and this is the weekly chart. W as in weekly chart. Weekly chart means one candle represents 1 week, not 1 day or 1 hour. So now let's discuss the candle, the last weekly candle, and the last weekly candle would have been a very strong candle supporting a gap up open. However, in the last I think 5 or 10 minutes, okay, the market retraced. So now before I discuss the candle, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you're looking for these daily precise updates of the S&P 500, Dow Jones, every day from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And if you want to learn the premium hacks, hidden hacks, which works with almost 100% accuracy and almost 100% of the times, and also the strategies, then you can participate in any of these programs. So I've given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. So you can visit that link and you can visit the shop section. In the shop section, you will find all of these programs and these products. So now this last candle is simply a bullish candle, a normal bullish candle. There is no defined shape. However, the closing of the candle is above the closing and the open of the previous candle and the previous candles. Okay, that is why it is a significator of the bullish movement. It says that the bullish movement will continue. However, it does not confirm any gap up open, because in last 5-10 minutes on Friday it retraced. The S&P 500 Dow Jones retraced. Okay, otherwise definitely there was a condition for the gap up open. So it simply indicates that on Monday, irrespective of any open, an intraday or an initial, means we can see an initial or intraday bullish movement or the continuation of the bullish movement in the next week, as simple as that. Okay, now let's analyze the technical indicators. In terms of the technical indicators, clear fan out in the moving averages, heavy fan out, okay, bullish. S&P 500 is bullish through the moving averages on the weekly chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly chart. And now some other technical indicators. S&P 500 is bullish through the MACD on the weekly chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the stochastic RSI on the weekly chart. And also, as of now, it is neither overbought nor saturated. Okay. So on the weekly chart, it is clear. S&P 500 is 100% absolute bullish. The trend is bullish. Okay, and also at the same time it is neither overbought nor saturated. This means that there will be one more, means if in the next week there comes 2, 3 or 4% bullish movement, it moves even beyond 6,100, then that is technically allowed, technically permitted. Why? Because it has neither hit the overbought nor hit the saturation. Okay, so as of now there is no technical compulsion, and all thanks to this red candle. Because if you have subscribed to my YouTube channel for last many months or years, and if you have watched this particular technical analysis, weekly technical analysis, then I've clearly mentioned that this red candle is not a significator of the bearish movement. No bearish movement, just the bullish movement, only bullish movement. Okay, this was just a little break and nothing else. Okay, and then it resumed its bullish movement. So allowed bullish, 100% absolute bullish. And guys, let me remind you once again, when I say that it is absolute bullish, 100% absolute bullish, this does not mean or indicate that every week there will be, and here I am talking about the weekly chart, that every week there will be green and green candles. No, momentarily or intermittently there will be some bearish candles. Okay, but eventually the market will be able to recover and will remain in the bullish trend. Okay, this is the meaning of this 100% bullishness. Now this is the weekly chart of the Dow Jones. Okay, and here on this, the weekly chart of the Dow Jones, again if you notice the candle, now this is very, very important, very significant, because the candle of the S&P 500 was normal, a dull bullish candle, but this weekly candle of the Dow Jones, the last weekly candle of the Dow Jones, is heavily bullish. Okay, although it failed to close in a condition wherein we would have expected a gap up open, but this candle is heavily bullish in a manner that in the next week on Monday, okay, definitely we are expecting an initial or intraday bullish movement, and then for the entire week, even if there comes a bearish movement, then also the market will be in a condition that intraday it can recover. Why? Because of this heavy bullishness through the Dow Jones. Okay, so Dow Jones is in much better condition, in much better bullish condition as compared to the S&P 500. Okay, so this is the meaning of this. So overall, and yes, the technicals, technically again the same thing, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, and Ichimoku cloud, and everything is same as the S&P 500. So Dow Jones is also 100% absolute bullish, and at the same time it has hit the saturation and is at the junction of overbought. So saturation and overbought are now in the picture. Okay, means it is just at this the junction, it has already hit the saturation and overbought. Okay, this means that the entire US stock market is allowed to move up, will get one more bullish week. Okay, if it goes bullish in the next week, then whatever high it is going to make, okay, it will be good. Okay, but see, if it remains bullish in the next week, then the next to next week, which will be the week of December 9th, it will be there will be very good chances of seeing a profit booking and then eventually bearish movement, because now the market, because at the same time S&P 500 will also enter into the overbought and saturation. This means that market, the entire market will become very heavy in a manner that it will fail to hold its own weight and it will have to come down. Okay, so just means this kind of candle or this kind of candle, although see this, the bearish movement or the fall will not change the trend, because for the trend to change a lot of condition needs to be seen. Okay, or needs to be fulfilled, right? So Dow Jones is absolute bullish, heavily bullish, and has hit the saturation and the overbought, but the S&P 500 has not yet hit the saturation and overbought. This means that one more bullish week is allowed. Okay, and if the market remains weak, if it gives a red candle, red weekly candle in the next week, then market will get 2 more weeks of the bullish movement. Okay, so it will be very much clear, okay, by Monday and Tuesday whether it is whether it will remain bullish, okay, close bullish or not. Okay, and all of these are things. So now guys, before I proceed to the second point of the agenda, that is the daily chart, okay, let me share this important information with you, that these are the products or the programs that I offer. Okay, and you can see 8 hacks. These are the premium hacks, hidden hacks, and you might not have seen or heard about these hacks. These hacks works with almost 100% accuracy and almost 100% of the times. Okay, although I mentioned 95%, okay, keeping 5% margin of error, like once in a blue moon, extremely rare situation. Otherwise it works almost 100% of the times with almost 100% accuracy. Okay, so 8 hacks and the modified technical indicators. My technical indicators are modified so that I can predict the movement even before the change even before it is seen. Okay, so that is why my technical indicators are modified. This is options trading strategies, premium calculator to calculate the premium value of any options of or any expiry, any spot price, any strike price, okay, anything, okay, within 30 seconds. So as far as I know, that people who are trading in the options, okay, 95% or 97% of those people, they do not know how to calculate the options premium value. Okay, and they dig a lot, they search for the same, okay, but they are not aware of, or they do not know how to calculate. Okay, but I will give you the two calculators and will show you that within 30 seconds how you can predict the premium value of any option of any strike and spot price. This particular product is the combination of this and this. Okay, is the combination of these two, this particular product. So when you opt for this product, or when you go for this program, then you will learn the options trading strategies, basics, advanced, the premium calculator, the 8 hacks, modified technical indicators, and everything in this particular program. And guys, in order to understand more, in order to learn more about these products or the program, you can click and you can open these the product page, the program page. And if I talk about this particular program, this particular product, then you can see that I will cover 8 stock market hacks with modified technical indicators. You can predict whether there will be a gap up, gap down. Next day, there will be a green candle, red candle, heavy fall, heavy rise, 5%, 10% movement, bearish movement, bullish movement, trend change, options trading strategies, basics, advanced, implied volatility, its impact on the premium price, ITM, ATM, OTM, options Greeks, how to calculate the premium value, live calculations through the options premium calculator, options trading strategies, and everything. So guys, I have given the link to the products in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can follow that link and you can learn more about these programs. Now guys, I am going to discuss the second point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And this is the daily chart. Daily chart means one candle represents one day, not 1 week or 1 hour. One candle means one day. Okay. Now this, the last candle, it's a heavy bullish candle. See, on the weekly chart, there was a normal bullish candle because that was the weekly candle. Okay. This daily candle is a heavy bullish candle. Okay. And also it was in the open equal to low condition, and also it closed above the previous all-time high. Okay, and all of these the recent highs, and also it closed above the strong zone. Okay, all of these conditions indicate that on Monday, irrespective of any open, there will be an initial or intraday bullish movement. Okay, also there may come, I'm not saying that 100% there will be, but there may come a gap up open. Why? Because exactly same condition is seen in the Dow Jones, exactly same condition. Okay, so S&P 500 alone is not in a position to give a gap up open, or the Dow Jones alone is not a position to give a gap up open. But when these two are combined, okay, and when we also include the Nasdaq, okay, so then when we combine all of these, then these creates a condition wherein we may see a gap up open on Monday. Okay, however, irrespective of any open, it is confirmed through all of these that irrespective of any open, there will be an initial or intraday bullish movement on Monday. So this is clear. Other than that, this candle also signifying in the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones continuation of the bullish movement. Okay, so now there will be this heavy zone, so it just need to clear the zone and then 6,100 or beyond. Okay, now let's talk about the technicals. But guys, before that, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you are looking for these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community, and I've given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And if you want to learn the premium hacks, the hidden hacks, okay, and want to make 5 to 15% on a monthly basis, okay, with confidence, and you have some technical knowledge, then you can opt for, or you can participate in any of these products or in these programs. And I've given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And these programs are listed in the shop. Now, in terms of the technicals, clear fan out in the moving averages, bullish. S&P 500 is bullish through the moving averages on the daily chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the Ichimoku cloud on the daily chart. Okay, so you can see that it is heavily bullish. S&P 500 is bullish through the MACD on the daily chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the stochastic RSI on the daily chart. Okay, and again the best thing, okay, that it is neither overbought nor saturated, and in next 2 or 3 days it is not expected to hit the saturation or the overbought. This means that for next 2 or 3 days it is allowed to move up, to move bullish without any problem. Technicals, okay, technically it is allowed. Okay, so S&P 500 on the daily chart is 100% absolute bullish. Okay, Now Dow Jones. So Dow Jones is also in the same condition, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, and the Ichimoku cloud. However, a little change. It is bullish through the MACD and bullish through the stochastic RSI. Okay. So what is the change? The change is that the Dow Jones is also 100% absolute bullish on the daily chart, but it has hit the saturation. It has hit the overbought on Monday, or on Monday it is expected to hit the absolute saturation. Okay, means K equal to 0. Okay, highly likely it will hit the saturation. Okay, through other saturation technical indicator, it has already hit the saturation. Also, it has entered into the overbought condition. So S&P 500 is allowed to move up to remain bullish, but Dow Jones is going to create a problem through the daily chart as well as on the weekly chart. Also, we have seen it has hit the saturation and the overbought. This means that Monday is fine. Monday market may remain bullish, not a problem. Tuesday onwards, there will be a problem in the market. Okay, Tuesday onwards, it will be the bullish movement will be conditional because Dow Jones will be trading in the overbought and in the saturation. Okay, so that will then create a problem to the entire US stock market. However, if there comes a good fall on Monday, okay, for some reason or for any reason, then this will bring back the Dow Jones out of the saturation and the overbought. Then from Tuesday onwards, it can try to move up, okay, without any problem. So this means that the bullish movement in the S&P 500 is conditional and is dependent on the Dow Jones. Okay, so just like on Monday 25th of November, Dow Jones helped the S&P 500 to sustain and to close at 5987. Okay, but this time Dow Jones will create a problem for the S&P 500. But whatever will happen or whatever is going to happen, I will keep you posted every day from Monday through Friday. If you're my Patreon community member, through these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. And guys, if you have not yet joined my Patreon community, then let me tell you that I give all of these updates every day from Monday through Friday. Pre-market analysis before the open of the stock market, midday update in the after 3 hours, final update before the closing of the stock market, so that my members can prepare themselves for the next day. And these updates are very, very precise. And guys, other than that, I give these the stock market opportunities minimum 5 to 10 every week in the premium stocks of the US stock market. Every week, premium stocks, top 20 or top 30 companies of the entire market. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community, I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And when you follow that link, then you will see that this is my Patreon page, this is my Patreon profile. And here you can see that there are these 3 levels or these 3 tiers. This is all midweek update videos. So the midweek update video, the technical analysis with all of the levels, zones and precise updates, everything is posted every Wednesday. Okay, that is the video technical analysis video update. Otherwise, the text updates are given every day from Monday through Friday. So this is the all midweek update videos only. This is the daily S&P 500 updates for non-US Canada residents. This is the daily S&P 500 updates for US Canada residents only. Okay, so these two are same. The only difference is in the geographical location. So when you subscribe to either of these, then you will be getting all midweek update videos, means whatever you are going to get here, as well as the daily S&P 500 analysis, updates, movement, levels, zones, momentum, everything, and also the stock market opportunities minimum 5 to 10 every week. So all of this in these 2 levels, in these 2 tiers. And guys, if you notice that many people have joined my Patreon community for last many days, weeks, months, years, and they are getting these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday, and also the midweek update video every Wednesday, and the stock market opportunities in the premium stocks, and they are very well aware of what is happening in the market and what is going to happen in the market. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community, I have given the link in the description of the video, and also in the comment section. You can follow that link and you can join my Patreon community, and you are welcome. Now guys, I am going to discuss the third and the last point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And here I will give you the probable movement of the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and in a manner to the entire stock market. What is going to happen in the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and the market from December 2nd, which is Monday, through December 6th, that will be Friday. So for the entire week from Monday through Friday. Okay. Now, first thing first. Next week, there is nothing much. On Wednesday, Federal Reserve Chairman is going to speak. Okay. So, and if his comments are very specific to the rate cuts and the rate hikes are not there, but rate cuts, okay, or the rate or pause or so, or there's the economic situation which is developing, okay, then this will influence the market. Otherwise, not. Then comes Friday. On Friday, non-farm payroll data, okay. Non-farm payroll data will be released. Now this non-farm payroll data will be very, very significant after the neutral PCE and core PCE data. Okay, this means that if there we have to anticipate some good fluctuation in the market, then that will be Friday, either Wednesday afternoon or Friday. Okay, pre-market this data will be released. Okay, otherwise the market otherwise everything will trade normally. Okay. And market is absolute bullish, as I've shown you on the daily and the weekly chart, and also I have discussed the gap up, okay, or initial bullish movement, bearish movement, and the problem, okay, which is going to be seen from Tuesday and Wednesday onwards. So now the movement in terms of the numbers and the levels. So guys, before that, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you are looking for these daily precise updates of the S&P 500, Dow Jones every day from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And if you want to learn the premium hacks and the hidden hacks for instant predictions, okay, gap up, gap down, green candle, red candle, fall, rise, trend up, trend change, and everything, okay. These are the hacks which works with almost 100% accuracy and 100% of the times, okay, and also options trading premium calculator. Then you can participate in these programs, in any of these programs. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section, and programs or products are there in the shop option, in the shop this section. So now the closing of S&P 500 was at 6032.38. It has cleared the hurdle. There was a hurdle, it has cleared the hurdle, okay. And this hurdle, and because of this hurdle, S&P 500 was compelled to come down. It sustained because it was supposed to sustain, resumed its bullish movement, and finally managed to close above this the zone, okay. However, this is the first closing. We need to wait for the second closing above the zone, okay. So when there comes a second consecutive closing, okay, or in simple terms, the high of this candle, which was 6017, okay, although it doesn't matter much because we can expect one more closing, because there are very good chances that we can see a second closing above 6017 on Monday, okay. If there comes a second closing above 6017 on Monday, then there comes a heavy resistance zone, okay, before 6100, okay, and it is not actually 6100 now, it will be beyond 6100, okay. So a very heavy resistance zone in 605x, 606x, okay, it actually starts from 604x, okay, this heavy resistance zone. Now after giving this the second closing, okay, above the 6017, it will come into a condition wherein it will be able to, or it will be having the movement, the momentum, and the support to clear this heavy resistance zone, okay. Now once it clears this heavy resistance zone, the S&P 500, then 6100, okay, and even beyond 6100 will come into the picture. Now S&P 500 should give a good bullish movement on Monday. Why? because Dow Jones has already hit the saturation and the overbought. Okay, so now Dow Jones is coming under a technical compulsion to give at least one good red candle on daily basis. This means that there should come a good green candle on Monday, because if there doesn't come a good green candle on Monday, there comes a red candle and the S&P 500 closes below 6017, it will be really bad, because in that case the bullish movement will be restricted. It will have to come down to these the levels, to this the zone, okay, that I mentioned again and again. This zone is keeping the S&P 500 bullish, otherwise the S&P 500 will be heading to the correction. Okay, now so in that case it will be compelled, it will be forced to come down to this the zone. Very simple. Okay, this is why a green candle is required on Monday, so that S&P 500 can continue its bullish journey. Because if there comes a green candle on Monday, and also the same green candle is seen in the Dow Jones on Monday, and the closing is seen above 45,000 psychological mark, because if you notice 1 and 2 consecutive rejections, 2 consecutive failures, because the closing was not above 45,000, but the Dow Jones breached the 45,000 on both of these the last 2 days. That is why this closing must come above 45,000. Otherwise from after Monday onwards, we will anticipate some more fall in the entire market, including the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. Okay, so this is why the Dow Jones is here. The Dow Jones is very important, and this is why I always consider the Dow Jones, because Dow Jones, okay, there are 30 companies, the top 30 companies of the US economy. Okay, top 30 companies are the part of the Dow Jones. So, and Dow Jones is not like a tech index. So S&P 500 and Nasdaq are the tech indices. Only or mostly like 50%, top 50 or 60% are the tech companies only. But Dow Jones is but Dow Jones works on a hybrid model where all of the tech, healthcare, banking, means all of the companies are there. That is why Dow Jones is the prime index, and that is why I always analyze the Dow Jones. Okay, because it gives us the clear picture. For example, S&P 500 as of now has the technical support. What kind of technical support? It has the technical support to move up without any problem. It has the technical support to move up for next 3 days at least, continuously. Okay, but however, this is not true, or this cannot be seen as such. Why? Because the Dow Jones is not supporting, because it has already hit the saturation and overbought. That is why in order to get this the very precise movement in the S&P 500 and its ETF SPY or QQQ, okay, or Nasdaq, the Dow Jones is must be considered and it must be analyzed. Now anyways, yes, so S&P 500 second closing is required. Now this second closing, okay, it is actually you can say a compulsion, okay, or the market is compelled, it is under compulsion. It must give a second closing above, or second green closing. In the Dow Jones, this closing must be above 45,000. Okay, very, very specific. S&P 500 must close above 6017 on Monday, and I'm talking about Monday. Okay, if this condition is seen, if the Dow Jones closes above 45,000, S&P 500 closes above 6017, 6100 plus in the S&P 500, and Dow Jones will be looking for 45,500. Okay, after 45,500 it will be for 46,000. Okay, but I highly doubt if the Dow Jones will be able to hit 46,000. Okay, because there are some technical and non-technical reasons for that. Okay, but 45,000 a closing is required. Okay, now if there comes a bullish closing above 45,000, okay, on Monday, then Dow Jones will further hit the saturation and the overbought. So saturation in a manner that K is expected to hit the 100. Okay, when this happens, then Tuesday the market will have to put a little more efforts or a lot more efforts, okay, including the S&P 500, and you can observe, okay, the same, that market is putting efforts to clear on Monday also, and also on Tuesday it is putting efforts to move up. Okay, it is trying to move up but then retrace, trying to move up but retraces. Okay, because after giving a bullish closing on Monday, S&P 500 and Dow Jones, the Dow Jones will not be in a condition, means it will feel pressure, and that pressure will then be felt on the entire market. This means that if Dow Jones is bullish on Monday, also the Dow Jones is bullish on Tuesday. Okay, and S&P 500 on Tuesday is struggling to clear 6, 0, 4x, 5x, 6x. Although the zone is very specific, okay, that I disclosed to my Patreon community members. Okay, so yes, if on Tuesday, okay, the market is bullish, the Dow Jones is bullish, Monday it was bullish, okay, Tuesday it is also bullish, but on Tuesday S&P 500 is struggling to clear the zone. Okay, then Wednesday highly likely, or it will be, means the Dow Jones on Wednesday will be in a condition wherein it will feel a heavy pressure. Okay, and if the Dow Jones gives up on Wednesday, and if the S&P 500 fails to clear the heavy resistance zone by Tuesday, okay, by Tuesday end of the day, in that case S&P 500 will be in a trouble, because in that case S&P 500 will not be needing, or sorry, will not be getting the heavy support that it was supposed to get through the Dow Jones. Okay, that is why the S&P 500 must clear the zone by Tuesday. Okay, so that even if the Dow Jones gives up on Wednesday, then also S&P 500 will be giving at least one closing above the zone. Okay, and then any bearish movement will be limited to this particular zone. Simple. Okay, means S&P 500 will not be losing 6,000 mark in any case. Okay, or it will sustain above the previous all-time high level, as simple as that. So this means that continuous bullish movement on the Dow Jones Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, Tuesday onwards, okay, it cannot be guaranteed. If it remains bullish on Tuesday, bullish on Monday, bullish on Tuesday, and also bullish on Wednesday. Okay, then remember, on Wednesday, Federal Reserve Chairman is going to speak, okay, in the afternoon. And if the Dow Jones is bullish continuously for 3 days, this means that it has already hit the saturation, it is already trading in the overbought condition. And when there comes the comments, okay, from the Federal Reserve Chairman, and even a neutral comment from the Federal Reserve Chairman, force or compel the market to give an intraday bearish movement. Okay, so this is what I am trying to say, that the S&P 500 must gain and must recover this heavy zone by Tuesday, by end of the day. Okay, and then on Wednesday, before the Federal Reserve Chairman start to speak afternoon, in the first half on Wednesday, S&P 500 should be trading around or above the zone. Okay, so that it remain in a very strong bullish condition, that even if there comes adverse comments from the Federal Reserve Chairman or neutral comments from the Federal Reserve Chairman, then also it can handle the fall, or it can absorb the fall, or means the fall can be limited in the bearish side. Okay, so just remember this point. Now, if everything goes well and the Federal Reserve Chairman gives supportive comments to the market, okay, then and Dow Jones is bullish by Wednesday, then by Thursday, either by Thursday or Friday will be weekly expiry of options. Okay, if the Dow Jones remains bullish until Thursday, every day it is bullish, then on Friday there we can anticipate a heavy fall. Okay, because Dow Jones will not be able to hold its own weight, and then on Friday they will book the experts, they will book the profits. So on Friday, on the expiry day, there will be a fall, otherwise there will be a fall on Thursday. Okay, this means that if the S&P 500 has sustained above the zone by Wednesday, okay, and is trading well above the zone on Thursday and Friday, then any fall will be limited to the zone itself. This zone, this particular zone I am talking about. Okay, not this zone. This zone will come into the picture only when it loses this particular zone. But if it is trading well above the zone by Thursday and Friday, in that case any fall will be limited to this particular zone. As simple as that. This means that next week we are anticipating a bullish movement, continuation of the bullish movement. 6,100 or 6,100 plus is there in the picture, but it is conditional based on this particular zone and also through the Dow Jones. Okay, Wednesday it will be quite clear whether S&P 500 will hit the 6100 or beyond, or it will not be able to hit 6100 if there comes adverse comments from the Federal Reserve Chairman, and then it will have to retrace back from here. Now the bearish movement, the bearish side. The bearish movement or the bearish side will remain limited to this particular zone, okay, which is around 6017, this particular zone, okay. Any fall will be limited to this particular zone. And now that S&P 500 has come into the condition wherein it has sustained above the zone, closed above the zone, and on Monday there comes one more closing above the zone, then it will be heavily bullish. Any fall will be limited to the zone, and a failure at the zone. Failure means a closing. Again, remember, closing. I always emphasize on the closing. Closing is important. Intraday breach is not important. For example, on this particular day, on Monday, November 25th, okay, it has breached, it came down, sustained, okay. So movement was as expected and predicted on Monday. But it managed to close above 5985. Then I mentioned that if the S&P 500 closes above 5985, then there will be a bullish boost immediately the next day. And next day on Tuesday, what we have seen? A very good bullish candle, because it closed at 5987, 2 points above this mark, okay. So that is why a breach is not a big deal. Breach can happen, breach is not a big deal. A closing is important. If there comes a closing below this particular zone, which is now holding the market in the bull side, if there comes a closing below this zone, okay, then most likely it will lose more, and but because it will be sustaining above the bull side, so we will wait for the second closing also, means 2 consecutive closing. We will always look for the 2 consecutive closing, especially around the heavy support or resistance zones. So 2 consecutive closings, okay. If there comes one closing, first indication market is bearish, and it is going to give up more, okay. If at the same time the closing, if the candle is special, then we do not need any second closing. In that case, a single closing is enough. And at the same time, if the Dow Jones is also indicating the same thing, then second closing is not required, okay. In that case, one closing is enough. See, one more reason why I am saying that on Monday we need a second closing, okay, above this heavy resistance level in order to confirm that it is moving up, because the Dow Jones failed to close above 45,000 mark on Friday. If the Dow Jones would have closed above 45,000 mark on Friday, then there was no requirement for the second closing, okay. So that is why when we combine and when we analyze these are two indices, two biggest indices of the world, okay, then it is quite clear whether we need a second closing or not. So if there comes one closing, and if this is also a special candle, and also if the Dow Jones has failed to sustain at the heavy support level, in that case we do not need a second closing. It will give up more and more. Otherwise, in the normal case, we will be waiting for the second closing. Simple. The question is that if this kind of situation is seen, if this kind of condition is seen, then what will happen? Number one, there will be no bullish movement, or no more bullish movement, or any bullish movement will be restricted. Number two, S&P 500 will be coming down to the zone, again to the zone, the same confluence zone, the support zone, okay. The calculators, this is the zone which has helped the S&P 500 to sustain bullish. Simple. But guys, whatever will happen or whatever is going to happen, I will keep you posted every day through these precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday if you are my Patreon community member. And if you are not, then you can join my Patreon community in order to get these daily precise updates, the stock market opportunities in the premium stocks, and the midweek update video, the midweek technical analysis with the precise, okay, readings and everything. And I've given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And guys, if you want to learn these the premium hacks, hidden hacks, which works with almost 100% accuracy with 100% of the times, and if you want to make 5 to 15% monthly basis, okay, then you can opt for these the products or these the programs. I have given the link in the description of the video and also the comment section, and you will find all of these programs here in this the shop, okay, in this the shop section. So guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not yet subscribed, and hit like if you have liked this video. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, then please feel free to ask your questions to the comment section. So guys, this was my S&P 500 weekly technical analysis for the week of December 2nd, means from December 2nd, which is Monday, to December 6th, that will be Friday.